Hi guys, it's Katie here again from BellaCreativa, doing another page in the Broderie Mini Album that we have been working on. So the reason they're called Broderie is because I'm using these Broderie SVG files that I have designed, and they will help you to make a mini album from start to finish using your electronic cutting machine, like a Cricut, a Brothers Scan and Cut, or a Silhouette. So SVG files are scalable vector graphic files that you can upload to your electronic cutting machine, and it will do all of the cutting, scoring and measuring for you, so that you can make a mini album without having to worry about any of those bits and pieces. So there are 30 files, and I have done an introductory video which I'll try and remember to link for you so you can go and have a look at all of them. I've created this little book so that I can show you all the pieces that I use to cut out to make each of the pages and to make the album. So the pieces of themselves are in the blue, and the mats, the corresponding mats, are in the pink. And I've given every single piece an alphanumeric label so that it's really easy for me to tell you which pieces to use. So let's get started, and I will tell you more about them as I go. If you have not seen any of the videos in this series before, there's a whole playlist. It's called Broderie, so go and have a look at all the other videos, and it will explain it to you in a bit more detail. Right, so we're up to page 7, and I have cut some bits and pieces out here. These are all my pieces. I am using a 6.5 inch paper pad. It's perfect for this album because here's the album that as we have been going along. It's a 7x7 album with a 3 inch spine. And this is the size of album you'll make with the SVG files if you don't change them at all. But if you change them, you can actually size them up and make a much bigger album, or you can make it smaller and make a smaller album. And I have done a flip through of an album that I made on camera before, and shown you also a small album that I made and a larger things that I've made. So go and have a look. Okay, so I'm using this 6.5 inch paper pad called Whisper by Kaisercraft. I've got 2 of these 6.5 inch paper pads, and I'm also using some pages from an old atlas to go in here. So this is a very neutral album. So, and to make this album, I'm using all the plain pieces in the Broderie, but there are lots of fancy pieces. So the last album that I made on screen is this one here, and this one we used all the fancy lace edges on all of the pieces to make it all very feminine and girly, but using exactly the same SVG files we are now making a much plainer version album. So there you go. Right, so we'll just put that to the side and we will look at the next page. So I always start by cutting out this piece here, which is the C2 base page mat. So we've already put our pages in the album, and I just need the mat to go on there. So that's the C2 base page mat. So we have that one. And then I have cut out this piece here, is pocket E2, and I've cut out one of those, and that's this one here. And I have cut out 2 of the mats that go on that, which is E6, and that's those 2 there. So put that to the side. Then I have cut out 3 of these doors or pockets, H2. So I've got 3 of those. And I have also cut out 3 of the H4 mats for those, and that's those there. So they're all ready to go. And then finally, I have cut out this skinny belly band here, J3, and the J12 mat to go with it. And that's these 2 here, and they're all ready to go. So I'll just put that to the side and this to the side. And what we need to do is just cut off a few tabs and things because I've designed this as a pocket, but if we cut a couple of tabs off it, we can make it into a flip, which is exactly what we're going to do. So I want to flip this on the long side, so I'm going to cut these 2 short tabs off. And then on this guy here, actually I think that's it. I don't think we need to cut anything else off, do we? Oh no, on these 2 pieces here, on 2 of the H2s, we're going to cut 2 of the short tabs off. Is that right? I'm going to stick them together like so, so we don't need the tabs on both sides. Yes, that's right. Okay, so we're going to cut those 2 off. So that's the only cutting we need to do. I'll just get out my cutting board. And I like to write the piece, the name of the piece on it once I've cut it out on my Cricut, just in case it goes missing or turns up on the floor and I can't remember what piece it is, or if I don't use it and then I store it away and I can pull it out again for another album. And I also like to put the crosses on the tabs that I'm going to cut off because I get talking to you and I forget which pieces I should be cutting off, and I end up cutting off all the tabs. I've done it before, so I'm learning from my mistakes. I'll just get out my mat because I like to make a mess. And we can start by, I'm going to round the edges on here, round the corners. So I'm just going to give those a little trim. And this guy here, what's I going to do with this guy? Oh, lost my mind. No, we're just going to do that. Yeah, no, don't need to do anything to that. That's it. So I'm just going to cut these little parts, bits here where I cut the tabs off. And this is a flip, so I'm doing it on both sides. I'm using this VersaFine Vintage Sepia, and I like it for this craft cardstock because this craft cardstock's so thirsty. Okay, right, so here's my plan. This is going to be flipped on one side of the page, and this is going to be a pocket, like a half pocket on one side of the page. So let's start by sticking this together. So this is going to stick to our page, and then the rest of the tabs are going to stick it all together like so. So let's just do that. So I might start by taking the cap off my glue, and I'll just get the dried glue off the edge. Okay. So what am I doing? I might join this long. No. Yes, I will. I don't know what I'm doing, do I? It's kind of getting a bit late in the day. Alright, so I'm going to join this long tab along here, but I'm leaving this tab out because we're going to use this tab to attach it to our page. Right, so I'm going to pop that down, line her up, make sure that we are all in line. I fold those in. If it's not perfect, we can just trim off the bits that aren't perfect. And where to put my bone folder? There it is. Hoping we'll get a couple more pages done in this video. I don't know why I was burnishing there. I didn't put any glue there. Okay. And now I'm just going to put some glue on these short tabs to join it together. And flip that over onto that one. Oh man, my glue. I never see see anybody else on YouTube making the same kind of mess that I make. Oh well, maybe they aren't having as much fun as me. Just going to put some ink on here because I forgot to. And this side. It's getting so excited. And I'm just going to put a little bit along here because we will probably be able to see that. And we don't want any naked bits of craft cardstock poking out. I mean, you don't have to ink it all, but you know, once you start, it's really hard to stop. Okay, so let's get our album out, shall we? Shall we? Oh, I'm going a bit silly now. I've been doing this all day. Okay, so my plan was to, I'm going to have to just attempt to trim that because I have done a lousy job of lining it up. It's probably not even noticeable, but I just can't help myself. I don't know. Have I made it better or have I made it worse? Who knows? Right, so what I thought I would do is attach this down to the page. I might go that way, like this. And then it's like a little half page flip and we can pop something in there. So let's do that. We'll pop this down on there. Slide that along there, line it up, press it down, get glue everywhere. And I'm happy with that, I think. Okay, that's easy. And then this guy here, I thought I would put on this side, like so. I feel like I want to round the edges of this now. And I've already stuck it down, which will make it a bit tricky. What do you think? I've rounded the edges on here. I just don't know. So this little guy's going to go down here. I'm going to get glue all over the page underneath. I'm going to get hold of my wiping tool. Down the side. Make sure I'm happy with how well that's stuck down. Okay. So here was my idea, and I don't have my little insert to do it, but bear with me. Let's say we have an insert that goes in here like this. Now, to keep all of this down, I thought we could put this belly band here, so then it slides, so this would slide under the belly band, and I'm doing a terrible job of this, and into the pocket, and it would sort of lock it all in. Yes, I like it. Let's do it. So, where are we going to put this belly band? I feel like it needs to be quite far out, maybe. Let's mat. Did we decide on these? I have to round it. Let's do that. Let's do that. Really should have done this first. Right. Nothing but a bit of scissor action and ink can't fix. Right, and this side, can you see me and my last minute change of plans happening here. That one was much easier. Okay, I'm happy now. So I want to use these two here. Right, so we need to round those corners now. And it's not directional, so I can do any side. Fix up those little nude corners. And connect. It'll make a big difference to this album once we get a few embellishments on here. But I'm really trying to resist the temptation to put flowers on, because I do tend to get a little crazy with all the flowers. And this does have a few flowers in the, maybe go with die cut flowers, but not ones with dimension. I don't know. I think I'm making excuses now. Alright, so this little half pocket is sorted. It would be really nice in these albums if you stitched around the mat before you put it down. That could look really nice. Or you could stitch the mat to the pieces before you glued them together. Something like that. I don't know. Have to think about that one. Okay, so then this guy's going to go here, and this one's to the inside, non-directional, so we can do any corner. So let's do that. One, two, and fix those corners up. I feel like that wasn't very well cut. Oh, right. So we're going to put this guy on here. Yes, let's do that. Oh, this is fun. I love putting the pages together. Once you've kind of worked out a bit of a plan, then you can just roll along. Or if you don't want a plan, you can just, you know, play around. You have to do a bit of both in equal measures sometimes. Okay, that's the side. And then this is the mat for here. Well, which way should it go? Maybe that one. Maybe these should run up and down rather than across. Let's do that. Okay. Pop that down there. And we have this last H2 piece here, which is just going to be our pocket. It's going to go down on here. So we should just go ahead and do that now, I feel. And put that down on there. Get the glue with my fingers. Put the glue all over the page. That should come down a little bit. Maybe slide over a touch. Now I just want to make sure that each of the pages closes up, and this one feels like it's just sitting a little bit on that fold. Be okay? And what about this one? It's sitting a bit on the fold there too. Let's have a look. It goes like that and it goes like that. Lovely. Okay, Okay, so then we can just pop this mat on here. So let's do that. Pop it down. Lovely. Okay, and then, all we need to do is just put this belly band on. So let's just put this mat on. I'll just move this up a little fraction so I can sort this out. Just glue this mat on here. And stick it out. Then wipe off all the glue that's oozing out the sides. Maybe I should get an ATG. Maybe I'll be a clean crafter then. Okay, so now I feel like I need to decide where this guy is going to go. That looks about right. What do we think about that? That's my pencil. And my ruler. That is, let's call it 2 centimeters from the edge. What does 3 centimeters look like? What about if we split the difference and make it 2.5? About there. Let's do that. Okay. Decision done. Just going to put a couple little spots there. Put a bit of glue on here. And on here. Right, make sure I've got the print going up the right way. And down she goes. And that's that page done. So when we get to doing inserts and the tags, I didn't put this piece on very straight. It's like wonky down here. What have I done? That's why this one wouldn't close very well. What have you done, Katie? Oh well, don't tell me. If you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. Can you see that? Look, it's right on the wonk. Oh, I can't deal with that. Oh dear. Okay, so when we make inserts and tags, we will need to make sure that we make one that slides under here and into this pocket. In the meantime, I might just hold it to see if this will hold it together, so it goes under there and then in there and kind of locks it in. Oh, that's cool. That'll be good. We can get lots in there too once I fix up that wonky page. Alright, so that's another page done and I like it, and then we've got plenty of opportunity to do some embellishments here, and I have no idea how long we've been going for, but let's do another page. I'm having fun. Okay, so the next page is a left opening page, and I have already cut some pieces out with that. So let's grab those. All these bits here. Right, so left opening. Let's put this to the side. And have a look at the pieces that I've cut out. And let's wonder what it is I was planning on doing. Page 8. Right, so we always start with our C2 base page mat, so that's that one there. And then I have got 4 D3s, right, D3. This pocket here, I have got 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the mats for that, I have cut out the D6, and I should have 8 of those. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. And then the only other piece we require at this stage is that little skinny pocket, F5, which is this guy here, and the mat for that, which is F11, and that's this guy here. So that's all the pieces we're using for this page. So let's get out. Now this guy's staying as a pocket, so we can leave him just as is. In fact, let's just put the mat on. Let's just do it. Right. Okay, so he's ready to go on. Okay, then I have 4 of these pieces, and my plan is to have one flip from the top, like so, one flip from the bottom, like so, and then have one from the side and one from the other side. That's the plan. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the short tabs on 2 of these, the top and bottom ones, because we're going to flip on the long side. So we need to cut off, look, I haven't marked that one. We need to cut that one off and that one off those 2. And then these ones that are coming from the side, we need to cut the long one off, the long tab off, and one of the short tabs on both of those. So let's do that right now. Okay, so this is another one of the pages where I have put that little pocket on, and we can put a tab in that, and it will act as a sort of a locking mechanism, just like we did for the last page. So we're sort of eliminating having to have lots of closures by using some of our tabs or photo inserts as a sort of a lock-in. Okay, so that one's coming from the side. See, this is what happens. I confuse myself. That's why I have to put those little crosses on there. Alright, so this is another one that's coming from the top. Okay, so we can get rid of all these. I'll try to. There we go. Side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to round the corners on each of these. So I have to do that for all 4 of these. And these ones are going to be these sides. And then I'm going to ink around them, and then each of them will be matted on the front and the back. So I have 8 mats for 4 pieces. So I will go and do that, and then when I come back we'll put the page together. Put the page together. Perfect. So I'll see you in a few minutes when I've done that. Okay, thanks guys. Alright, so I'm back, and I have gone through and inked up around all of these pieces and matted both sides of those D3 pockets. We had already put the mat on this little F5 pocket, and then this is the C2 mat, and all we need to do is put this on our page. So let's get out our album and open her up and turn to this page here, which is where we will put this one. So this is page 8, and so my plan is I'm going to have one of these coming from this side and one coming from this side, and then we have a top and a bottom flip. So let's do the top and the bottom flips first. Now I think that looks pretty good. It's pretty centered from side to side. I mean, I could measure it, but I feel like that's okay. let's put a little mark on either side and put some glue on this tab. Like so. Way too much. Oh. Right, and then I'm just going to lay it down in between my little spots that I've decided on. And excuse me, I'm just going to lift it up and make sure it's sitting at the top where I would like it to go, because I can't see from where I am. There's plenty of glue oozing out of there. Right, and then I'm just going to give it a little burnish and make sure it's stuck down well. And it is. So then I can attach the bottom one in the same way, and this time I can just line it up with that top flip. So let's do that. And drop it down like so. And give it a little press. And burnish. And that looks good. And then I want this pocket to go down here, and it's going to be the sort of locking mechanism for the whole thing. But let's put this down first before we put the side pieces on, because it will help us to determine where those should go. So put some glue on here and here, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the mat. I don't want it right down the bottom, just give it a little bit, and maybe slide it over a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll do. Squish her on down. Oh, all the glue that just came out of there. That corner will be stuck down well. Okay. Right, now these side guys are going to go on here like this. And really I don't know that I want them right up the top. I think I like them about there. And then when we put something in here, it'll lock everything into place. Coolio. Okay, that corner's not sticking. Alright, so let's go with about there. So I'll just put my little pencil marks, and they're far enough in that they should be covered by our base page mat, so that's good. And I'll just open it up and pop that one on there. Line it up with the edge nicely. And we still have to do all the inserts, so we've still got the side pockets inserts to do, and a few other little groovy bits and pieces once we finish the pages. Okay, so then we're going to slide this one on here, and I'm just going to use this one that we've already put down to help us line it up, like so. And let that go off there. Push it down. And that side. Whoop. Okay. So then all we need to do is cover up this one. Now we could potentially put a pocket in here, but I think it might make it a bit chunky. But that's, as I say, something that we can add in later if we want to. But let's, do this sort of basic part of the album, and then we can decide. So which way do we want the roses to go? I'm going to go with that. Okay, now I'm going to pop that down all the way around. glue in the corners. I can go back and sort that out when I'm not filming though, so you don't have to watch me do that. Okay, so then we can flip this one up, that one down, this one to the side, and this one to the side, and then if we had a tag or insert made up, we pop it in there like so, and it holds everything closed. Look at that! Another page. I love it, and I love how we thinking about different ways of closing up these pages without just using magnets all the time. So I like that one. I love how these are sort of interlocking and holding themselves down. So it's the same with this one here. And I think I might do something here at some stage, but I'm not sure quite what yet, but we can go back and fix that. So we've got quite a few pages done. It's beginning to look like an album. So thanks very much for joining me today. And if you're interested in having a look at the SVG files, they are called Broderie, and they are available on my Etsy store, and I'll put the link in the description box. Otherwise, I hope you join me while we make the rest of the pages, and give me a thumbs up, subscribe so you know when the next video gets released, and I'll see you guys really soon. Thanks very much. Bye.